But one night I was stood outside a gateway of a very old property, the treasurer's house again actually, and I was stood behind a light above my head, and suddenly what happened was a shadow came over the top of the crowd, and everybody ducked because I thought something was falling on the top of them. And when I looked up, I saw this black, like a rectangular object. It looked like, I described it as a magic carpet, but just pure black, and it just came swooped down, and it just swooped up above the crowd and just disappeared into the darkness above us. And everybody was absolutely terrified. I mean, you know, it was the most unusual thing that I'd ever seen. It was dark, it was very sinister, it wasn't normal, let's put it that way.
Yeah, this is what I wanted to get towards, because in India we have a lot of ghost stories, different kinds of ghost stories from different states, sometimes stories of benevolent ghosts.
Oh yeah,
right?
There's a definite contrast between the type. What you've got to bear in mind when it comes to the supernatural or the theory of ghosts is that when you're living, whoever you are when you're alive, if you're a bad person or a good person, when you die, you take that with you. And as a ghost, that carries on. So in other words, if you've got a murderer or a nice person's a nice person in the spirit world, and a murderer or somebody malevolent and evil will be evil in the spirit world. But there's also that some people believe in reincarnation, that when you get there, you pay your penance, and when you come back as a human, then basically your whole life can be changed. You pay your penance after death. But there are plenty of... I've always said to people on my Ghost Walk, don't play about with things that you shouldn't, such as things as a Ouija board, you know, when you try to contact the dead, because you never know who you're speaking to. It's a very dangerous thing to be doing. I always try to say to people, don't dabble in the things that you don't know.
The Illuminati.
The Illuminati, exactly. now you're hitting the nail on the head. And the White Witches that are just quite normal people that just do a bit of fortune telling, and they do herbal stuff, and they just keep their own beliefs to themselves. But there are witches' covenants in England, hidden away. Oh yeah, definitely. Oh yes, I've come across one of them.
In York?
Not in York, just out of York, on the Wolds. It was something in the forest, a dark thing. Consequently, about 2 weeks later, I spoke to the gamekeeper. I bumped into the gamekeeper who looked after the forest. I said, do you ever walk about in the forest on your own? He says, no, never. I says, why is that? He says, because there's things in there that you don't want to think about. And it freaked me out. Do you know what I did the following day? I bought a scooter. I never walked down that lane ever again on my own. Whatever I witnessed and felt that night was malevolent.